everyone. So I am back. We are here for the virtual summit. This is day one, and we are getting ready to introduce our third speaker for today. And I am super excited. So earlier I was talking about CEO and talking about the things that you need in order to, the one thing that you need in order to begin this entrepreneurship journey. And that one thing I was talking about was environment, right? And so I wanted to give you another tip. So, another tip for you would be when you are starting this entrepreneur journey, you want to make sure that you have the mindset of you're going to win no matter what, because things are going to happen and things are going to come your way that are going to test your faith. They're going to test, your ability to overcome. It's going to test, whether, can I do this? Can I make this happen for my business? Or can I be successful, right? Like that's what it really comes down to when you are being tested along your entrepreneurship journey. And as a CEO, I don't think any CEO goes into business thinking I'm going to fail or I'm not going to win, whatever it may be, right? And so I want to encourage you that you're a winner and that you are going to win and that you will have success. You'll win no matter what, as long as you keep pushing forward and not quit. Let me go ahead and I'm going to invite some people to the live. I'm using my phone to invite. Hey Raphael, hey Janelle. Welcome. Hey Ash. I'm going to invite everyone to the live, the virtual summit, y'all. I'm so excited to have everyone here. And Mel, she really talked about earlier about how to go from hiding to shining. And now we have Dr. Camelia. She will be speaking on a life of bliss through mindset. And Dr. Camelia is a life coach who helps you live a blissful life, right? A lot of us are dealing with some underlining struggles, and she really helps you iron it out. She literally helps you, like, the other day I was working on my automation and I had some flashcards. You guys are in here. I had them live recorded. We had some flashcards where I would have, the journey of where I wanted everything to go. And so with Dr. Camelia, that's what she does. She literally helps you reorganize your stuff, get your stuff together, and really step into your purpose. And she, has a no excuse type of mentality when it comes to, becoming great because she knows her stuff. And so I am going to bring her forth to. Are you ready, Dr. Camelia? I know it's a little early, but I see you there. Are you ready? Give me a thumbs up. I can see you. Okay. Alrighty, so it is. It says my audio is sounding mechanical. It was working fine.
Can you hear me? Okay, there you
Can you
go.
hear me okay?
Yes, now I can. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Alrighty, so this is Dr. Camelia. I'm going to go ahead and let you take it away and share who you are, what you do, and your amazing business, and how you can serve these amazing people.
Wonderful.
Let me know if you need help. I am here behind the scenes.
Okay, got you. Thank you. Hello, everyone. As you were just told, I am Dr. Queen Strong. I am a transformational and personal development coach, the CEO and founder of Rising Star Coaching, where our mission is to disrupt the way women view themselves, help them heal their hearts, and to create a life of bliss. And as we get into the conversation, you'll hear this again because when we talk about bliss, we're talking about you standing in the truth to your beliefs, loving yourself, intimacy, self care, and success. And it's where all of it is designed, created, and most importantly, implemented by you. And so, to share a little bit about me, I am a mother of three. I have three beautiful grandchildren. I am a 23-year veteran, retired from the Army. My last job there was military police. So, let's see, my doctoral degree is in organizational leadership and behavior, i.e., being able to coach those who are willing to be coached from point A to point B, whatever that is, and really having a conversation around where is it you want to be. And so, but how did I ultimately get into the place of being a personal development, transformational coach? That comes from several different instances or experiences, if you will. If you've seen my bio on Facebook or Instagram and even LinkedIn, you know that I am a survivor of domestic violence and sexual assault. And so being able to work through all of those instances because it really started at an early age. The first time I was sexually assaulted, I was 5 years old, right? By an adult male who was a family member. And so really honing in on once I recognized that certain behaviors that I was holding on to, if you will, were creating other instances in my life that I did not want. I recognized that it was going to be about me shifting how I saw the world and how I was responding, how I was showing up. And so that is how I came into this beautiful, wonderful work of being, right, a transformational coach, for being a personal development coach, really assisting mainly women really reconstruct their lives on how they're showing up based upon their experiences and teaching them, me, us, how to really take responsibility for our lives regardless to what has happened. And so as we get into this conversation today, you're most likely going to hear some things that is going to be like, wait a minute, but this happened, that happened, this happened, that happened. And I get it. I totally understand. I empathize with you. All of that. But the reality is that, and I picked this up from the verbiage exactly from Will Smith. It may not have been your fault as to what happened, right? What happened was, was not your fault, but it is for damn sure your responsibility to assist yourself in healing. And so that's how we get to the conversation of mindset, right? That's how we get to the conversation of mindset. So when we look at mindset, what is mindset? So you think about that. Well, mindset is really a set of beliefs, assumptions, and notions, right? And they're all made up. So let me say that again. Mindset, your mindset, my mindset, our mindset is really made up of a set of beliefs and assumptions and notions that shape how we experience the world, right? And the reality is, these beliefs in turn have been shaped by our past experience, right? We've inherited them from our families, from our parents, from the society in which we live. So that is where our mindset, right? That is the definition of mindset. Whether it's simplistic, scientifically, that is the definition of mindset. And so today we're going to have a conversation around three major things. Now there are several things that you can do, but today we're only going to focus on three powerful things that you can do in order to shift, right? To shift your mindset. Because sometimes we don't allow ourselves or give ourselves the credit, right? To give ourselves the credit of knowing and understanding how powerful we are when it comes to our thought process, and recognizing that being able to shift your mindset is really what's going to get you from point A to point B, C, D, E, and moving and creating the life of bliss. And we're not talking about bliss in, some fairy tale way of being. We're talking about bliss in that when you wake up in the morning, no matter what is going on, you know you have a plan, right? You know how you're going to be showing up in the world. You're comfortable with who you are, right? And when your feet hit the floor, you can actually say, I love my life, no matter what's going, no matter what's happening. Even when the husband or the wife is acting up, right? The kids won't do their homework, they won't clean their room, all of these things. The people at work are running amok, right? You can still say, I love my life because you know it's one of your making. And that's what we're talking about when we talk about bliss. So before we get into the steps, we'll look at bliss itself as defined by, i.e., Dr. Camelia Strong within Rising Star Coaching, right? And so when we talk about bliss, 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 right? So the B is for beliefs, your beliefs. What are your beliefs? What moves you? Because if you remember when we defined mindset brought up that your mindset is based upon constructed through your beliefs. So what are your beliefs? What is it that you authentically within yourself believe about you, about the world, about how things should be moving, going, and looking even, right? So your beliefs. So now when we looking at bliss and beliefs, right? Bliss or beliefs within bliss is really about standing in the truth to your beliefs. And so that means that one is going to have to really take some time and look at what your beliefs are and begin to work through them to find out if they, please take note of this, if they, right, are continuing to serve you. I.e., when we were younger, we were all told, right, little kids, don't talk to strangers, right? That served you well as a child. Don't talk to strangers. But now that you are an adult, it would not really make good sense, right? To continue to stand in the belief that don't talk to strangers, right? So that's a really simple way of explaining like how we can begin to look at and figure out whether or not whatever our beliefs are, if they are continuing to serve us. And if they're not, moving into a place where we really get present to creating that shift, right? And so L is for love. And recognizing that bliss in itself is really about you, me, I, us, personally, though, as individuals, right? So this is your individual work, love. Do you love yourself? Do we actually really understand what it means when we say self love, right? Self love, admiration of oneself. I love myself. When I say that I love myself, that also means that I am going to behave in a way and respond in a way that is going to teach others, right, how to treat me. So that even in their treating of me, I know that I love myself because they are mirroring back that love that I have for myself, right? And so then we look at the I in bliss, in intimacy, right? So when we look at intimacy, it is about really understanding the core of intimacy and not just the physical or the sexual part of it, right? Because you can be in an intimate relationship with your coworker and it be totally platonic. So really understanding what is intimacy, how is it moving and showing up in your life, and actually understanding that there are levels to it, right? There are phases to it. And in recognizing that, looking at how I feel, see a relationship that I may be interacting in with someone, and being able to understand whether or not we are on the same page or not. And that part of intimacy really becomes important when we are looking at our physical relationships, if you will, right? And so then the first S of bliss is self care. Do you find it important to operate in a space of self care? Do you implement self care in your life daily, weekly, monthly, yearly? How does it show up? Do you recognize that when we practice self care, right? When we practice self care, it sets us up for being successful in every area of our lives. And I'll say that again. When we practice self care, it sets us up to be successful in every area of our life. And I know most of us have been conditioned that self care is somehow selfish. Well, that may be true. But the thing in that is that that is a part that needs to be put in place. Because if I don't take care of Camelia, right? If I don't take care of Camelia, if I don't section out time to where I allow myself to rest, restore, rejuvenate, then I cannot serve my community. I cannot serve my children. I cannot serve my grandchildren. So when we begin to look at again mindset, right? We look at mindset, we have to shift into a place to where we recognize that self-care is actually necessary. It is necessary. It is of the utmost importance to operate, implement self-care. And I'm not just talking about going to get your nails done, going to get your hair cut, right? I'm not just talking about that. I'm talking about really sitting back and doing things that restore your energy, to where you allow yourself to wrap yourself in your own love, to where you are standing in a space and you recognize that it is important to rest, right? Self care. And I challenge you all who are here, I challenge you to really begin to implement at least 1 hour, 1 day a week deemed to your self care. Whether you take that hour to read a book, whether you take that hour to go for a walk, right? And as you begin to progress, right, and really get in and really start to see and everyone around you reap the benefits of that self-care, then you can move into a couple of hours and, quarterly do a whole day. And in that challenge, I also challenge you to put it on the calendar. Yes, put it on the calendar. This is not like, oh, I need to do self-care. No, you need to schedule it. Just like you schedule going to the dentist, you schedule going to the doctor, right? You have the projects that you have to complete on your job. You have those on your calendar. I am telling you, requesting, challenging you to put your self-care on the calendar. So when it comes up, you know, and everybody around you knows this is your self-care time. And our final S in BLISS is success. Success. Recognizing that comparison is the thief of all joy. Comparison is the thief of all joy. So you define success for yourself. You implement the part of what is going to take for you to be successful for yourself, right? And you are making sure that whatever success looks like, you've decided. No one else. No one else has decided or defined what success is for you. So that is living a life of bliss, right? That is what we're talking about when we say bliss. We're talking about standing in the truth to your beliefs, loving yourself, intimacy, self-care, and success. All implemented, put together by you and no one else. And so how do we get to this space of bliss? It all starts with our mindset, right? It all starts with our mindset. So how do we do it? How do we do it? How do we shift our mindset to where we're standing in a place where we're creating a life of bliss? Well, the first thing that you're going to do is challenging your limiting beliefs, right? That's the first step. Challenge those beliefs that are preventing you from getting to where you want to be, or even before that, identifying what those beliefs are. Right? What are those limiting beliefs that you have? So if you are a person who's looking to start a business, how often do you say to yourself, "I'm not an entrepreneurial person," right? Or you're saying things like, "This is never going to work. My business isn't successful because of X." Oh, here's a good one. I can't charge higher prices because of Y, right? We have a reason as to why we won't charge the prices that we know we should be charging for our services, because we have a limiting belief around charging those prices. Why is that? So really exercising and moving in this space where you challenge those limiting beliefs, right? Here's another good one. For those of us who get stuck in the freebie zone, right? Looking for all the freebies. I can't afford to invest in these. That's a limiting belief. That is a limiting belief. I am a true believer that if there is something that you truly want to invest in to help your business grow, help you grow, you'll find the money. No ifs, and buts about it. You know how I know? Because if I leave my bank card at home, or if I leave it in the, I can figure out how to find the money for that coffee. I can figure out how to find the money, whatever it is. So we can do that. We can definitely find the money for, or do the work to manifest it, right? To invest in the things that we need to invest in order to move our business forward and to move our life forward. right? And so once you've identified these beliefs, you want to ask yourself the following questions. And so I'm hoping that you all have some pen and paper, you can write these questions down. So if you're moving in a space where you say, oh, I am going to challenge my limiting beliefs. I'm going to challenge my limiting beliefs. So the first thing you're going to ask yourself in challenging your limiting beliefs is this belief serving me right now? We talked about that earlier. Where as a child you were taught, don't talk to strangers. Does that belief assist you as an adult? Would that assist you? Because if I don't talk to strangers, then I can't get clients. If I don't talk to strangers, then I would not have made the connection with Nikki, right? And I wouldn't be here. Because on the onset, she was a stranger, right? So really looking at those limiting beliefs and then asking ourselves, is this belief serving me right now? Right? And so number two, what would be a more helpful belief? What would be a more helpful belief? Right? Now, this is not about making up some unicorn miracle belief about finding, a constructive belief that is just as true. It's not more so than the old belief, right? It's not that. But looking at, if we continue with the example that we gave, as a child, we were told, I was right, told not to talk to strangers. So we recognize that as an adult, that belief does not serve us. It won't serve us, right? Not to talk to strangers. That won't serve us. But what would be a more helpful belief around that, right? As we reconstruct this concept of not talking to strangers. What would that look like? Well, we could say that, we can proceed with caution, possibly, right? Allow ourselves space and time to get to know the person by just saying hi. Opening up that door, that window, right? Not rushing in and jumping in, but just really asking ourselves what would be a more helpful belief around. And each of us would need to come up with that for ourselves because we all have different experiences, right? And then number three, what evidence is there to support this new belief? What evidence is there to support this limiting belief? This new belief, excuse me. So what this means is you open your eyes and you'll be pleasantly surprised as to all the positive examples you will find that will validate your new belief. Right? What's the new belief around strangers? Like, not all strangers are dangerous. Not all strangers are out to get you. Right? Because those are the things that we kind of attach to not talking to strangers when we're talking to our children. But now you are an adult. Right? So again, number one, when we're looking at challenging our limiting beliefs, we want to ask ourselves three questions. Is this belief serving me right now? Right? Number two, what would be a more helpful belief? And number three, what evidence is there to support this new belief? Now, the thing that I want you really to think about and really hone in on is that as you're working through this, you are going to apply these three questions to every limiting belief that comes up. Every limiting belief that comes up for you. You're going to have that conversation, right, with yourself or with a coach to actually help you work through what these challenging, these limiting beliefs are. Because sometimes we can be really oblivious to what they are. They can be so ingrained in us. We're like, oh, that's just the way I am. That's just the way it is, right? Now, number two. So remember, we mentioned that we're going to look at three things that you can do to shift your mindset. So number two is adapt a growth mindset. Adapt a growth mindset. So adapt a growth mindset, right? And so when we think about a growth mindset, it's really going to look at the words that we input into certain sentences describing ourselves, right? You're not smart, right? So these are things that teachers and parents would tell us, right? So adapting a new mindset is going to be about going back, right? And looking at these experiences and reconstructing them again. So adapting to a new mindset or a growth mindset, if you will, excuse me. Adapting to a growth mindset, recognizing that you are smart, right? So if you're standing in a space where you've been told you're not good at X, okay, there are several things that Dr. Strong is not good at, but if it is something that I really want to try, then guess what? I know that I can take the necessary steps to get someone to teach me how to do it. Then I practice it, then I become good at it, right? So really fixing the mindset, right? This fixed mindset assumes that your intelligence and talents are fixed traits. So recognizing that when you adapt a growth mindset, it will open up this space where you recognize that your mindset is not fixed. It's not set. You have the power to change it. You decide. You decide if you want to stand in the space of being a good student, being a good entrepreneur, right? You decide that because your intelligence will allow you to learn. Your talent will allow you to practice. You put them together, then you become good at whatever it is, right? Because yes, we can go into the space and say, "Oh, well, I was born with this. She was born with that," and they don't come together. And that's not necessarily true. It's not necessarily true. If you don't believe me, right, have a conversation with Michael Jordan, right? Have a conversation with Will Smith. Have a conversation with hell, have a conversation with me. Because you decide where you want to sit and where you want to operate in these places, in these spaces. Because whatever natural talent you are not born with, guess what? You can learn. You just have to choose it. You just choose that this is what I want to learn how to do. You choose, right? It all matters or is based upon how much effort you want to put into it, right? So a growth mindset has you believing that your brain and your innate talent are simply a starting point, and you can absolutely improve on anything, right? Because then failure then becomes a useful signal as to what you need to work on, i.e., there's no such thing as failure. Failure to me, based upon what I've learned and how I implement my way of creating a life of bliss, failure means I quit. Now, Not quit as in having to shift to do something different or else, but just like, yeah, I'm not even going to try to improve my attitude. I'm not going to even try to learn automation so that my business can grow. That is failure to me. Now, if something that I am doing does not work, again, in the growth mindset, that is really about showing me, right, what doesn't work or what I need to work on, right? So with the growth mindset, it puts us in control of our destiny, which is definitely a good thing, right? So if you have a growth mindset, you'll be more determined, more resilient, and ultimately more successful. I'll say that again. If you have a growth mindset, you'll be more determined. That means you're going to push forward. You're going to take the additional steps that you need to do to find, right, or to create, manifest the money that you need in order to invest in a course or to work with a coach or to go to a school, right? Or to get that certification. You're going to be resilient. And in resilience, you own the mindset and the thought and the concept that I don't fail, I don't lose, I learn. That is my mantra. That is the mantra that I use. I don't fail, I learn. That's it. And so when you can move into that, that creates this ultimate space of success, right? Because all of this ties back into the previous point of your belief. Start believing in the possibilities of growth and learning, and you'll be able to look at your success and quote unquote your failures in a very different way. Because failures no longer are in your space. Because you know that they are opportunities of learning. They're opportunities of learning. And you allow yourself to continue to move through it and ask the question, what do I need to do next? How do I learn how to shift, whatever it is? Whether it is you need training in leadership or you need training in how to do a PowerPoint, whatever it is. When we stand in a space of a growth mindset, it allows us to really stand in our own power and ask the question and do the work in order to create a life of bliss and to create the success that we each define for ourselves, right? And that's it. And so then number three, some people might not like this one, but it's okay, right? It's okay. Because it's my job to be that sandpaper, right? That's my job. My job is to be that sandpaper that's going to rub up against you to make you move a little bit, so you can look at yourself and you can look at what it is that you're saying that you can't do. What I know that you can. So I'm going to rub you a little bit with this one, right? So number three, stop making excuses. I don't want to hear it, and neither does anybody else. Stop making excuses. So what do I mean by that? As comfortable as a comfort zone may be, staying there when you know you want to be somewhere else can be incredibly painful. Now, I want you guys to really, right? Just come centered and think about that. You're comfortable. You're in the comfort zone, but you know you want to be somewhere else. That's incredibly painful, right? Incredibly painful. Setting goals and then not following through, or not setting goals in the first place and giving up before you even try, will gradually break your spirit. So as we're moving through this concept and this idea of shifting our mindset, the thing that we want to remember is that there are no more excuses. No excuses. Nada. None. Stop it. No more making excuses. None. Right? Because we've all done it. You most likely have a whole set of reasons for why you didn't do something. Right? Why you didn't sign up for that class that you need to take so that you can learn how to market your business. Right? You have a whole, or why you didn't figure out how to get into that course so that you can write your book that you've been saying that you didn't need to write for the last 10 years. Right? Or why you couldn't do it. I'll do it when the kids finish school. Right? Oh, I'm too old. I'm tired. All these things that we come up with as to why we didn't or why we couldn't do something. And yet, the thing that I want you to get, and yet, those reasons are based on the beliefs that I talked about at the very start, which are really excuses. They're really excuses. I can't do X because I don't have time, money. I just fill in the blank. Fill it in. Fill in the blank. I can't do that now. I'll do it when the kids graduate from high school. I'll do it when my youngest graduates from college. You don't understand my situation. It's different because, right? And the reality is that underneath those excuses are first those limiting beliefs. And the second thing is fear. Ooh, it is the biggest reason why you, I, we are actually holding ourselves back from truly committing to that big dream and taking decisive action to move forward. What are you afraid of? What's that fear? And guess what? It is not always the fear of failing that keeps us from moving forward. I know for me, I finally had to realize and accept that I was afraid of being successful because I bought into some limiting beliefs that I was told, oh, you think you're better than us because you did this. Oh, you think you're better than us because you went to school or because your son does this or your daughter, you just really? Yes. Can you imagine? Sometimes we always automatically assume that we are afraid of failing when the thing is, a lot of times it's really the success that we are afraid of. Because we think we're going to leave our family behind. And some of them we will. Some of them we need to. But see, the irony is that as soon as you commit and start taking action, you'll quickly gain more confidence and create momentum. And before you know it, you will have done the very thing you thought was impossible. It's all about your mindset. It's all about your mindset. So I challenge you today to move from your shoulda, woulda, coulda. And if you are ready to do that, right? If you're ready to do that, if you're ready to shift gears, just a little bit, just a little bit, right? I invite you to go to drcameliastrong.com, click on the link, answer the questions, and become a part of the Bliss Life Lounge, right? And that is where we have conversations around uh, everything creating a life of bliss. That's what we do. That's where we talk about what it's going to take for you to get from point A to point B. What do you need to do? What do you need to let go? Recognizing that the conversation is going to be about how you show up, what you do. Because see, the thing is that change does not happen until we change. It doesn't matter what anyone else in your life is doing. How are you responding or are you reacting? Check that. Check that. I want you all to move into a place where you know that you are responding and not reacting to somebody else's stuff. So I welcome you. I welcome you. And I challenge you to go to drcameliastrong.com. And you're going to see the little red bar there. And it's going to say Bliss Life Lounge. And you're going to click on that link, which is going to bring you to, and you're going to answer some questions. And I'm going to get the notification. I'm going to say, oh, yeah, they're ready to get the work in. They're ready to make it happen. Right? So, where is it that you want to shift your life? Create a life of bliss through your mindset. Create a life of bliss through your mindset, shifting your mindset. And we're not talking shifting superficially, we're talking digging in and shifting your mindset, challenging your limiting beliefs, right? Adapting a growth mindset, right? And stop making excuses. So I welcome you. I thank you for being here. I thank you for sharing this time with me. If you have any questions, I think Nikki said that she can still hear me. So Nikki, if you are there, I haven't seen any posting coming up. I don't know how that works. But if you have any questions, I think I have a minute or two left. And you can pose your questions and I can answer them. Or better yet, again, you can go to drcameliastrong.com, click on the link, and request to be a part of the Bliss Life Lounge. And that is where we will have the conversation. That is where I will have different units for you to complete, participate, and ask questions so you can get clear on what your limiting beliefs are. What are your excuses around not doing the things that you need to do in order to create a life of bliss, in order to be successful in your business? Right? What is it? Let's get honest. And as I tell the people in the Bliss Lounge, let's get naked on this conversation. Let's get clear. Right? Because it is your birthright to have a life of bliss. right? So, what are your questions? How do I let you? Y'all know this is all new to me. So, what are you guys' questions? What are you guys' questions? Where are the questions? Where are the questions? So, I'm guessing Miss Nikki is. Let me see if I can, because I can't see you all's questions. And I think she has to pull them up. So don't you guys leave yet. And if you do, make sure you go over to drcameliastrong.com and join the Bliss Life Lounge, right? So we can have a conversation around what it is that you need to look at, what lies you need to dispel, right? Based upon whatever your experiences were, right? Whatever your experiences were. And again, it all goes back to your mindset. Are you willing? Are you willing to do the work to make a shift, to create change, so that you create a life of bliss, right? Are you ready? And if you are ready, right? If you are ready, and you want, and you're in it, you know you're ready, but you need to take little small steps, right? You need to take small steps. Go to drcameliastrong.com, click on the red button, answer the 2 questions, come into the Bliss Life Lounge, and you can get started there. Now, if you know you're ready and you ready to put your roller skates on and you ready to do the work, right? And you ready to go hand in hand with me on this, right? Then I invite you to go to bit.ly/DRCAMI00, right? Dr. Cam, 00. That will give you an option to get on my calendar and we can have a conversation. Or you can email me at drcameliastrong@gmail.com. So there's several ways that you can connect. Connect with me on Facebook. Connect with me on Instagram. Are you ready to take the necessary steps to create the life that you want to create? Are you ready to move, right? And to really land on this sandpaper so that you can create the life of bliss. And remember when we talked about bliss, right? We talked about standing in the truth to your beliefs, loving yourself, intimacy, self-care, success. And all of it, right? All of it is designed, created, implemented by you. I'm there to assist because the biggest thing about mindset or shifting our mindset is really about being able to take responsibility for our life in its totality, all of it, all of it. Because no matter what has happened, no matter what someone has done, right? It doesn't matter what happened. But see, here's the thing, it's for damn sure your responsibility to make sure that you heal and that you get it done. All right. So I thank you all for joining in. I thank you for being here. Know that I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you with all the love in my heart. And I don't just say it because I say it can. I say it because I mean it. I'm Dr. Camelia Strong, and I am your sister in healing. Right? I am your sister in healing. So go to drcameliastrong.com, click the red button, and come into the Bliss Life Lounge. And let's have a conversation. All right, Miss Nikki.
Hey, thank you so much for that. I was trying to write out your website. You said it was Dr. Strong,
Dr.
Dr.
Camelia,
Camelia,
strong.com.
Camelia Strong. I'll be in the zone. Okay, got it. All right, so I put it right, right? It's going across the screen. So Dr. Camelia Strong.
Straudghn. You know I can. Straughn.
Oh, I did mess that up. GHN. Trying to type fast. You okay? Okay, awesome. Yay! And let me make sure that you have to hear me okay. Can everyone hear me though? You guys had an issue earlier. You can hear me okay?
It did that mechanical thing again.
How about now? Is it better?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much for that. I took some really good tips, and I got some really great feedback in the comment.
Okay.
Janelle said you preaching now. I don't know if you saw that. The it did. It's doing it now.
hmm She said,
It's still
Sharon
messed
said,
up.
please post your link.
I had a question from Sharon. Did you answer it? She asked, "Were you talking about? Is it through daily affirmations?" You answered that already.
No, I did not because I couldn't see the question. I see it now, but when I was talking, I didn't see the question. But its mindset is more than just daily affirmation.
Okay, so yeah, Sharon, she asked, "Is it through daily affirmations?" And then she asked, "How do one get over a negative mindset?" That's a good one.
Ooh, a negative mindset. So,
How does one get over a negative mindset? Like, how do you get through it?
oh, so how do you get over a negative mindset? And again, if she takes the three things that we talked about in the conversation, she's going to have to go back and look at the limiting beliefs that is around that negative mindset. Because that's where the negativity comes from. It comes from the beliefs that she holds around whatever it is that negative energy is coming into. Does that make sense? And also remembering that anything that we're wanting to shift and change, It's not
Testing, testing, testing.
okay. I can,
Keep going.
oh, okay. Anything that we want to shift and change, it's very important to know that it's going to take continuous practice, continuous perfect or good practice, if you will, and not just doing it every now and again, right? Also recognizing that, excuse me, also recognizing that wherever you are right now, it didn't happen overnight. But the great thing is that our mind is so powerful that we can make a shift if we want to quickly. We have to just decide. We have to have a no matter what attitude when it comes to what we're wanting to shift. And then again, the last thing we talked about, moving away from excuses. Moving away from excuses. One of the hardest things it is to for us sometimes to own is that when we are constantly bombarded by negative energy or behaviors or outcomes or different things like that, that is just spirit, if you will, God, whatever you choose to call it, tapping us, telling us there's something we need to look at within ourselves. What are we judging and assessing about others, right? That is creating and drawing this energy to us. Because everything is energy. It's all energy. Again, I'll say it again. It is all energy. And so the shift, the change has to be within self. We can't look out, right? We cannot look outside of ourselves to make any change that we want to make in our life. And I'm literally telling you, like none. Those of us who have survived sexual assault, those of us who survived domestic violence, those of us who survived any kind of trauma, most of us will be able to tell you that it came from making a shift from inside. It had nothing to do with the perpetrator. It had nothing to do with what mama daddy said. None of it. It is all you. It's all me. No one else. So if you want to shift from a negative mindset, I challenge you to take those 3 steps and work on them daily. Work on them daily. Work on challenging your limiting beliefs. Adapting a growth mindset. And moving in a space of no excuses. None. Like none. None. Like none. I don't even know how better else to say it. But we have to, it is important because here's the thing. And I know I'm saying, but you have to, you got to, you should, you didn't, all of that. I get all of that. And for some, it may have a little strong negative connotation because even in all of that, recognize this. We all have choice. You have choice. So even though I say you should or you have to or whatever the step is, you have choice. You don't have to do anything. But I strongly suggest that if you really want to shift your mindset, if you really want to create a life of bliss, and recognize this, we're not talking about some fairy tale here. Because stuff is still going to happen. It's still going to happen. There's still going to be some disturbing people at work. The difference is going to be is that when you shift your mindset, even if they show up for a split second, they're gone. Because you've decided, you've shifted your energy. So you will use your voice in a way that will let them know that that type of behavior is not acceptable. You're not going to make any excuses. Oh, I got a bad grade because my teacher don't like me. What? No, that's not going to fly. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Or I can't do that because I don't have enough money. How much you want to bet? Because I could probably sit down, and I'm not a big finance person, right? Because I do have a finance person, just so y'all know. But because of that experience, I can tell you that there's probably 5 things that you're doing, that you're spending money on, that you, if you released it, it would open up $100 a month, if not more. If not more. Like, seriously. So making the choice, right? First, seriously, making the choice. Like in here, making the choice. Being committed to creating a life that when you wake up in the morning, you say that I love my life no matter what's going on. No matter what's going on. And recognizing that when you step into that truth and when you step into that power, you also give the people around you permission to do the same. Because you're focusing on you, right? You're focusing on you. And in one group that I'm a part of, you learn to stay on your own paper, right? And it's not that you're blocking out everybody else, but you're recognizing that how you're responding, how you're showing up is going to dictate what happens in your space. Or at least how you respond to it. Yes, no, you can't control standing in line at the bank and some crazy person come in and rob the bank and then something happens. Okay, no. Just in case there's somebody out there that wants to be that extreme. No, but you can, in that instance, decide how you're going to respond. Because in your response is going to determine whether or not you get out of there. It's really that simple. But because sometimes we choose to make it hard, then it's hard. Right? That's it. When we are moving in a space to where we want to work on our mindset, the biggest challenge is going to be not giving up on you. The exact same attention, tenacity, push, and drive that you show for other people when they tell you there's something that they want to complete, that a challenge that they're working on, you need to be able to assert that same compassion, that same love, that same push for yourself, for your own growth. It's not that you're forgetting about the rest of the world, but it is saying that I am going to allow myself to put me first. Because if I don't take care of me, I can't take care of anybody else. You don't believe me? Try it. Try it. Let me know how long you last. Let me know. Let me know. And then we'll have a conversation to get you back on track. Right? Are there any more questions, Nikki? Mrs. Connor? I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
How about now? Can you hear me? And can you hear?
Ah, you went out.
It's my connection. That's what
Okay.
it is.
Okay.
It's my connection that is giving me a challenging time being on here. Can you hear me better now, though?
Yes.
Yes. Awesome. Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
So I was saying, no, there's not any questions right now
Okay.
that I see anyone has. If you do, go ahead and drop it. I'm going to go ahead and drop her link as well. And I was just saying that was really good information that you touched on when you were talking about mindset and how it is really a daily. Like a lot of people, they get into this and they work on themselves one day, and they're like, "Oh, well, it didn't work," or "Oh, it didn't take," or whatever. And then the next day, they're like, "Oh, well," back in their negative mindset, and then they're still taking everything that was pouring into them before and still pouring it into their spirit, which got them back to where they were insecure before.
Absolutely.
So, as you said, it's a daily thing. It's not something that you could just wake up one day and decide to work on your mindset, and then tomorrow you're like, oh, well, I'm off this and I'm on to the next thing. It
Right.
doesn't work that way. So, I definitely am with you when it says it's a daily task.
It is a daily, and I like to say a daily practice, right? Because again, that's part of the mind shift, the mindset shifting, right? It's a
Yep.
daily practice. Just like when we do yoga or we do spin class, it's a daily practice to be able to say, I'm going to shift my mindset and this is how I'm going to do it.
Absolutely. Can you hear me okay now?
Yes,
Yep.
yes.
Tell me real quick, are you hearing an echo in yourself right now? Say
Right
something.
now, actually, no. Wait,
You're
yes,
not?
yes,
Okay. Okay, it's because my speaker has a mic too. And so that's what I figured it out. That's what's causing the echo. So I have to cut the speaker on to hear you, but then cut it back off because I have a mic.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
But
It's,
are there any other questions for Dr. Camelia before we hop off? If there's no other questions, that's it. We are done for today. Thank you so much for being here with us and just sharing you and being open with you. Dr. Camelia is in our mastermind, and she also is beginning our Design and Launch Academy on Tuesday. And a lot of the things that she's talking about, she is implementing. Like, you know, she's showing it. You know, she's showing up, and that's the biggest thing as a coach, and that's what you want in a coach. You want someone who's showing up, and they're also walking the walk. And so Dr. Camelia is definitely a coach that is walking the walk, and I'm excited to be a part of this journey, and that she entrusted me to be here, and also to share with you all her awesomeness and her spirit and her blissful life. So
yes.
thank you so much. And
You.
yep, we don't have any other questions. So
Okay,
that's it for today. We will be back here tomorrow at noon. So each day we'll be here from noon to 4 p.m. And we will be bringing it to you with different topics. Tomorrow, I'll go ahead and I'll take you off the screen, okay?
okay.
Okay. Tomorrow we have Stacey Taos, who will be talking about healthy eating and living well. She has been my coach that has been working with me through going vegan, and I have my struggles, y'all. It's been a struggle for me these past 2 weeks, and but she makes it really fun. She makes it okay to get back up and keep pushing through. And then we also have Santrice Davis, who will be talking about financial wellness. So tomorrow will be Wellness Day, hey, because we then have CEO and founder of Wellness and Fit, LaShawn Dorsey, who will also be following her. We have her talking about shed light on healthy and unhealthy habits. LaShawn Dorsey is phenomenal. Like, when it comes to mindset around health, it, It's been great. Like I said, I've fallen off these past 2 weeks. I'm not gonna lie. I have definitely fallen off of my journey, and it's been a challenge. And one thing, I just woke up today and I was like, you know what? I'm starting with step one. I'm starting with what I learned from her for the mindset. Like nothing else. If nothing else, I'm going to start with the mindset. So she has a really phenomenal program. She's been very instrumental to my journey as a coach in making sure I create my mindset that I need for, wellness and fitness. So that is all I have for you today. And you have a good evening, y'all. I got my baby in the background, so sorry about that. Bye for now.